Welcome back to Outriders. In this video we are going through mods in this game, and from the ones that I've unlocked, the best mods that you can run for your builds. As I've been playing more, and I've been playing a lot more solo, it's a lot tougher to run expeditions and get gold times and stuff. I've actually had to drop tiers and not run the highest tiers possible. Sometimes I'm having to dip like 2 or 3 tiers below my max. I'm slowly switching out things on my builds just to make it better, because you don't always need to run legendaries, you don't always need to run the highest powered stuff. A lot of this game does come down to the mods, and the example I'm going to give you before we get into the mods, like basically I'm doing this first part, then you'll see some expedition gameplay in the background, and I'll talk to you about the mods and the ones that I think are good and why I think they're good. So starting this off, we have the gloves. It's the only extra bit of gear I've got on my character. You'll see that my firepower top left is 84.1k. That is for my Heir to the Desert legendary AR. If we hover over the gloves, they've got 6,000 armor, 3,500 firepower, 4.49% skills life leech, 9.68% close range damage. I'm running Asunder because it's tier 3, although I will no longer be running that. For Earthquake, using the skill permanently reduces the armor of affected enemies by 20%. So essentially, you use Earthquake, those enemies have less armor. I don't think that's necessarily too important. But then we have Personal Space. Grants you a 15% bonus to close range weapon damage. So I have one on there affecting my skill, I have one on there affecting my close range weapon damage. So 3,500 firepower, 9.68% close range damage, 6k armor. If we have a look at these gloves here, bearing in mind the other ones that I have equipped are level 44, these are 3 levels lower. So if you look at the armor, 4,600, the firepower 1,900, so that's 1,600 less bonus firepower. Status power instead of the skills life leech that's on these. And then also the close range damage is 8.67 over 9.68, so we lose an entire 1% on the close range damage. I have personal space, and I've also got Dum Dum bullets, so it increases assault weapon damage by 10%. So if you look at my health, look at my armor, 11.4k, 74.1. Switch over to these gloves, I lose 1.8k armor, and I have exactly the same amount of health. Switch back, the armor goes back up to 74.1k. That's purely because these have 4660 over these having 6,000. But if you look at my firepower on the left hand side, because it's not just about survivability, it's about damage as well, and it's not even always about your firepower. There's anomaly power and stuff included in the game too. But I'm trying to run firepower, deal a lot of damage with my guns, and stay alive at the same time. So if I change these out, look at the firepower, 84.1k. For the gloves that are 3 levels lower, my firepower goes up to 88.9k. Then I have some other mods on the build. For an example, like this isn't a finished build, this is not a build video. But I have Mitigation from Death. Killing enemies while aiming down sights grants 23k of armor for 10 seconds, stacks up to 3 times. Then up here I have Plate Dodge, so literally rolling gives me an extra 17k armor for 5 seconds. And Moving will increase my anomaly power and firepower by 2,500. On the chest I do have Earth's Legacy, and then I have Ashen Boost because I'm running the Wicker. The Wicker over this side will inflict ash on enemies every second. And then if we look at the chest, Ashen Boost boosts my damage against enemies affected or afflicted with ash by 20%. Then on my head, Damage Absorber, which increases my armor by 26.6k and my resistance by 10%. Then I also have Stand Tall, receiving 3,800 anomaly power and 2,500 firepower when I'm out of cover for more than 5 seconds. So there are some other things I need to change. On my weapon I'm running Bone Shrapnel and Sandstorm. I actually want to try and find myself a good purple AR with the attributes that I want. Not entirely sure which ones, probably close range damage, possibly weapon life leech or something like that. I don't know for certain just yet, but I want to get rid of Sandstorm. It's not the greatest mod in the game. It only works every 5 seconds. The damage is actually nowhere near what it states. And then I have Bone Shrapnel, which is really good. So if I could switch Sandstorm on a purple assault rifle for something like Claymore, or if I could run Ultimate Storm Whip, or just another one of the good ones, even Killing Spree would probably be better than Sandstorm. So it's not always about the legendary weapons, it's not always about the best, highest rated gear. It actually comes more down to the mods on your gear than what it does all of the attributes and other stuff. Because you look at this bonus firepower, I'm losing 1600, but I'm not actually losing 1600 because of Dum Dum bullets. I'm going up 4.8k firepower. So what we're going to do now is jump into an expedition, and we will talk about the mods, and we will also talk about why I think they're good. Then we'll talk about some that you can synergize with others and sort of stuff. We'll go into a little bit more depth about mods in a moment. So, on to the mods part of the video and talking about them. There are some that I've written down. You have weapon ones, you have damage ones on gear, and survivability ones on gear. And we'll go through this list from top to bottom. Starting off with survivability, you'll have things like hidden medkit. It will grant a health bonus when you pick up ammo, so simply running over ammo drops in the game will grant you health. If you are running in a group, then you have Paragon and Ultimate Paragon, which can increase armor for you and your allies. You have Damage Absorber, which increases your armor and resistance. Plate Dodge increases your armor for 5 seconds after rolling. Even Odds will increase your max health by 10% for each enemy within a 10 meter radius around you, and it stacks 3 times. Those are the best survivability ones that I picked up on. There probably are other ones that people want to use, but I'm simply just trying to explain that it's not all about the level of your gear, it's not always about the attributes. Mods play a heavy factor on the game, and I'm one of the people that didn't pay too much attention to the mods. I just thought, oh, okay, I'll leave my survivability and weapon damage as it is. I'll focus on making sure that I have mods in all 5 pieces of my gear that have an increase on the effects and stuff for my Earthquake skill. But little did I know that these will have such an impact on your game. It's very, very important to keep an eye on the mods and make sure that you have things like mods on your gear that synergize with everything else on your build. So moving on to the damage, you have Dum Dum bullets, which is one I use, increases your assault weapon damage by 10%. You will have Vampiric Mag, which will replenish 50% of your mag's ammo when getting a kill on an enemy with the bleed status applied. And if you pair that with the Bulwark legendary shotgun, or you take the mod off and put it on another weapon, it's huge, because the mod that comes on the Bulwark shotgun actually inflict bleed every second just for shooting enemies. So you're shooting enemies, they're bleeding, you kill them, Vampiric Mag will replenish half of your mag's ammo, so there's a lot less reloading going on. If you're running the bleed status with something like the Bulwark or the mod, and you're running Vampiric Mag, then also run Blood Potion, as crits on enemies that are bleeding will regen extra health for 5 seconds, so there's a little bit more survivability just in the form of one mod. You can also add Thirst for Blood when you're running bleed stuff to increase your weapon leech by 40% for 10 seconds after killing an enemy. There are other mods that will affect different status effects, like Ashen Boost that will boost your damage against enemies afflicted with Ash by 20%. Some of them have different values, some of them seem a little bit more powerful than others. But you can always just go to your crafting, like the person that does the crafting, is it Dr. Zahidi? You can go to the crafting bench basically and have a look at all the mods for yourself, because not everyone's going to have the ones I have unlocked. Some people have different ones that are better, but these are just from my personal experience on the ones I think are good. So Crit Stack can give you huge firepower boosts for landing crits on enemies. Move Groove will increase your anomaly power and your firepower just for simply moving around. Stand Tall will increase your anomaly power and firepower when you're out of cover for more than 5 seconds. There is another one that will do a similar thing for being in cover. Personal Space will grant you a 15% close range weapon damage boost. Buckshot Shells increase your shotgun damage by 10%. Sidearm Specialist gives you a 10% damage increase for sidearms. Diffuse will increase your armor and resistance for sprinting. Bloodlust will increase your firepower and it will stack 3 times on kill, but it will deteriorate every 10 seconds. And I don't think these have specific values. That's why I've just said it will increase your firepower, because I'm pretty sure your anomaly power and stuff will be a factor in this and change those values. But then onto the weapon mods. There aren't too many, because a lot of the mods fall under the category of afflicting status effects. The tier 1s will be every 8 seconds, tier 2s every 4 seconds, tier 3 is 1 second, and I don't have too many tier 3 mods. I've not had a lot of luck with legendaries. I'm still pushing through the end game myself. But if you are looking for some survivability on a weapon mod, Essence Thief will regen your health every second whilst you are shooting at an enemy. So it's got a 1 second cooldown, shots will regenerate your health. Claymore will damage an enemy with an anomaly blade that deals high damage every 4 seconds. Storm Whip, which is tier 2 and Ultimate Storm Whip being tier 3, will bring down lightning, dealing high damage on enemies that you are shooting. Death chains entangle enemies with chains and they deal high damage. Bone shrapnel, and I'm pretty sure there's ultimate bone shrapnel as well, will turn an enemy into shrapnel when you kill them, which will deal high damage and inflict bleed on enemies in a 5 meter radius, so there's some more bleed for your build as well. And then you have Killing Spree, which increases your weapon damage by 25% on kill for 20 seconds and stacks up to 3 times. So 3 quick kills gives you 75% weapon damage bonus. There is one, however, called Dark Sacrifice. If I've got the name right, I'm pretty sure it comes off the Fatal Symbiont legendary. That one doesn't actually, it's nowhere near as powerful, and I don't think it works properly. There might have been a typo in the description or something, because it says, basically sacrifice 50% of your health for 75% weapon damage, but it doesn't work like that because you'll still have your max health, and you won't get any weapon damage bonus. When you drop from 100 down to 75%, so anything between 50 and 75% of your health left, you'll have a 37.5% weapon damage boost, and then when your health is below 50%, you will get 75% extra damage. So, using Killing Spree over Dark Sacrifice, you've got to get kills to build up the weapon damage stack, being 3 times at 25% each, instead of having to lose health to rely on getting a weapon damage boost. So there's a lot of synergies that you need to try and figure out. You need to make sure your mods and everything are synergizing on your build. And just in general, there are a lot of mods that will be much better in the game than others. But it does also come down to your personal playstyle, because someone might love inflicting or afflicting status effects on enemies. Some players might want to go for pure survivability and just be support in their game. Some people might want to just glass cannon it and just be straight up DPS and not bother about survivability. Then some people might want to make some hybrids and stuff. There are a lot of different factors that come into this, but just make sure that you're focusing on the mods as well as other stuff. And don't forget, you can raise your attributes. You can level up your stuff if it's a little bit underpowered. There is a lot you can do to make your builds better in this game. And I'm having to run tier 8 stuff at the moment until I get some better purple gear. I'm looking for a few different gear pieces just to try and improve my build. I've only just started playing solo recently, and I do have a max of tier 10 available, playable through expeditions, but I'm struggling a little bit on 9 and 10. So I'm going to drop it down to 8, do a few runs, try and get myself the bulwark, put a little bleed build together, and then push through and try and improve on my expedition tier. But that is going to do it for this video. I hope it helped you out. Let me know your thoughts and stuff about it in the comments. I will see you in the next video. I hope you guys enjoyed it.